Part 1. The pain of seeing too much. You have awakened. You feel a profound connection to the stars, to the trees, to the entire universe. So why do you feel more alone than ever in a room full of people? Let's talk about the beautiful and painful paradox of awakened loneliness. If you feel like a stranger on your own planet, a loving exile in your own life, then this message is a beacon for you. Your loneliness is not a sign of your failure, it is the evidence of your function. Subscribe to the Hidden Voice, and let us, together, illuminate the noble purpose of the human lighthouse. Let's begin by deepening our understanding of this unique pain. This is not the loneliness of having no one around. This is the loneliness of seeing too much. After your awakening, your perception shifted. It is as if a new set of senses has come online. You now perceive the world not just on the level of words and actions, but on the level of energy, of frequency, of intention. And this has made ordinary social interaction an exhausting and often painful experience. You sit with people you love, and you can hear their words, but you can also feel their wounds. You can feel the unconscious fear that is driving their ambition. You can feel the unhealed childhood pain that is fueling their anger. You can feel the deep insecurity that is masquerading as arrogance. You are witnessing the matrix of their personality, the invisible programs running their lives, and they are completely unaware of it. And so you are faced with an impossible choice. Do you connect with their persona, their mask? To do so feels like a profound act of inauthenticity, a betrayal of the deeper truth you can see in them. It feels like a lie. Or do you try to speak to the deeper truth, to the soul you can sense beneath the surface? You have likely tried this, and been met with confusion, defensiveness, or a blank stare. Your words, coming from a different level of reality, do not compute. It is like trying to describe the color blue to a person who has only ever seen in black and white. So, you fall silent. You sit in their company, and you offer a quiet, loving presence, but you feel a profound sense of isolation. You are an ambassador from a country that no one else has ever heard of. You speak a language that no one else understands. The pain of this is the pain of a deep and loving exile. You are surrounded by people, but you have never felt more alone. Part 2. Loneliness as frequency incompatibility. We must now reframe this entire experience. We must take it out of the realm of psychology and place it in the realm of physics. Your loneliness is not a psychological problem. It is a problem of frequency incompatibility. Think of it like this. Before your awakening, you were broadcasting and receiving on a specific radio frequency. Let's call it the AM band of ordinary, egoic consciousness. It is a frequency of survival, of competition, of drama, of past and future. Everyone you knew was also on this band. The conversations were easy, the signals were compatible, and you felt a sense of belonging because you were all listening to the same noisy, staticky music. But your awakening was a profound and permanent recalibration of your own inner receiver and transmitter. You have been retuned. You are now broadcasting and receiving on the FM band of awakened consciousness. It is a frequency that is clear, spacious, and resonant with the present moment, with unity, with a deeper peace. And now, you are standing in a room full of AM radios, and you are a powerful, clear FM broadcast. When you send out your signal, the signal of your peace, your clarity, your deeper perspective, they cannot receive it. To their old AM receivers, your clear, high-frequency signal sounds like silence, or like confusing static. They cannot hear your music. And when they broadcast their signal to you, the signal of drama, of worry, of gossip, your new, finely tuned receiver can no longer process it in the old way. It sounds jarring, dissonant, and loud to you. It feels like noise. This is the source of your loneliness. It is not a personal failure. It is not that you are better, or that they are worse. It is simply that you are vibrating at a fundamentally different frequency. You are, by the laws of physics, energetically incompatible. The profound and lonely ache you feel is the direct, physical sensation of this frequency mismatch. It is the feeling of being a clear note in a room full of dissonance. Part 3. the somatics of your frequency. To truly own this new understanding, you must be able to feel the truth of it in your own body. Your loneliness and your unique, awakened frequency are not two different things. They are the same energy, perceived from two different angles. Let's do an investigation. Find a moment to be still. And I want you to first tune into the feeling of your own core, your own inner light. The you that exists behind all the stories. Feel the quality of this inner presence. It is calm, isn't it? There is a deep, quiet stability to it. Feel its spaciousness. It is vast, open, and not easily disturbed. Feel its clarity. It is a simple, clean, and uncomplicated energy. This calm, spacious, clear feeling is the signature of your awakened consciousness. It is your unique FM frequency. Now, I want you to let that go for a moment, and I want you to tune into the direct, physical sensation of your awakened loneliness. The feeling you have when you are in a room full of people but feel completely separate. And feel its qualities. Is it a frantic, chaotic, and noisy feeling? No. It is calm, isn't it? A profound, and sometimes sad, stillness. Is it a small, tight, and constricted feeling? No. It is spacious. A feeling of being in a vast, empty room, even when you are surrounded by others. Is it a messy and complicated feeling? No. It is clear. A simple, clean, and undeniable feeling of being different. Now, compare the two. The feeling of your inner light, and the feeling of your loneliness. They are the same. Calm. Spacious. Clear. The pain you have been feeling is not the pain of the loneliness itself. The pain has been your judgment of the loneliness. You have been telling yourself a story that this feeling of calm, spacious separateness is a problem, a sign that you are broken or that you don't belong. The great epiphany is that this feeling is not the problem. It is the proof. It is the direct, physical evidence that you are successfully and consistently holding a new, different, and higher frequency. Your loneliness is the feeling of your own unique truth in an environment that does not yet match it. It is not a wound to be healed. It is a signal to be honored. Part 4. The Path of Individuation. This journey you are on, the journey that creates this sense of profound and often painful separateness, is not a detour from the spiritual path. It is the very definition of the spiritual path. You are walking the noble and solitary road of individuation. The great psychologist Carl Jung, who was a mystic as much as he was a scientist, saw this as the ultimate task of a human life. Individuation is the process of becoming a true individual, a whole, undivided, and psychologically mature being. For the first half of our lives, our primary task is to adapt to the outside world, to learn the rules of our culture, to build a career, to form a family. This is the process of building a functional ego, a persona. In this phase, fitting in is a sign of success. But then, for those who are called to a deeper journey, a second half of life begins. And its task is the exact opposite. It is no longer about adapting to the outer world. It is about turning inward and discovering the vast, unique, and authentic self that lies beyond the persona, beyond the collective. This is the journey of individuation. And Jung was very clear that this is, by its very nature, a lonely path. He wrote, "The way of individuation is a solitary one, and the more you progress, the lonelier you will become." Why? Because you are consciously and deliberately separating yourself from the herd mentality of the collective unconscious. You are questioning the values that everyone else takes for granted. You are retrieving the lost and rejected parts of your own soul. You are, in essence, choosing your own unique, authentic wholeness over the comfortable but unconscious sense of belonging to the tribe. The loneliness you feel is not a sign that you have failed at connection. It is the sign that you are succeeding at individuation. You are becoming your own person, in the deepest, most profound sense of the word. You are no longer a leaf on the collective tree, moved by the same winds as all the other leaves. You have discovered that you are the entire tree, with your own deep roots and your own unique reach for the sky. This is a path of immense courage. It is the path of the pioneer, the trailblazer, the one who is willing to walk into the wilderness of their own being, away from the well-trodden paths of the collective. And the feeling of loneliness is the natural and noble price of that sacred journey. It is not a sign of your isolation. It is the mark of your sovereignty. Part 5. The Parable of the Solitary Radio Tower. To deepen our understanding of this sacred function, let us tell a new parable for our times. The story of the solitary radio tower. Imagine a beautiful, secluded valley, nestled between ancient mountains. In this valley, for generations, the people have only ever listened to one kind of radio. Old, simple AM radios. The sound is often filled with static, the content is repetitive and fear-based, but it is all they have ever known. It is their shared reality. Then one day, a decision is made by a higher intelligence. A great and powerful radio tower is constructed on the highest peak overlooking the valley. This tower is not an AM tower. It is a state-of-the-art FM tower, designed to broadcast a signal of incredible clarity, of beautiful, complex music, of profound and uplifting wisdom. This tower is your awakened consciousness. The tower is switched on, and it begins to broadcast its magnificent, high-fidelity, stereo signal out across the valley. And what do the villagers hear on their old AM radios? Nothing. They hear a great and confusing silence. Or they hear a frustrating static. The tower's signal is so pure, so high frequency, that their old, primitive receivers cannot even decode it. And so, the villagers begin to complain. This new tower is broken, they say. It is arrogant. It is silent. It is not connecting with us. It is useless. The tower, from its high and lonely peak, hears these complaints. And if it were a human, it might be tempted to feel like a failure. It might be tempted to try and fix itself. It might even try to degrade its own magnificent FM signal, to add static and noise to it, in a desperate attempt to sound more like the AM stations the villagers are used to. It might be tempted to abandon its own truth in order to fit in. But the tower has one, single, noble purpose. It is not to be liked by the villagers. It is to hold a potential for the villagers. Its job is to continuously and faithfully broadcast the clear, beautiful, and true FM signal, day and night, without apology. It does this not for the villagers of today with their AM radios, but for the one or two villagers of tomorrow who might, out of a deep inner curiosity, decide to build an FM receiver. And when that one person finally builds their new radio and tunes it to the right frequency, what they will hear will not be the familiar static of their culture. They will hear, for the first time, the breathtaking music of the heavens. And their world will be changed, forever. You are that radio tower. The loneliness you feel is the silence of the valley that has not yet learned how to tune into your frequency. Your great spiritual test is not to degrade your own signal to be better understood. It is to have the courage to keep broadcasting your own unique, clear, and authentic truth, even if no one seems to be listening. Because you are not broadcasting for the crowd. You are broadcasting for the one, single soul who is ready to build a new receiver. And for that one soul, your solitary signal is the sound of their own awakening. Part 6. The Vow of the Frequency Holder. Do you feel the profound and sometimes heavy responsibility of this role? Do you recognize yourself as the solitary tower, broadcasting a beautiful signal that the world around you is not yet equipped to receive? If this parable gives a new and noble meaning to your isolation, then I invite you to join this silent network of broadcasters. Subscribe to the Hidden Voice. This is a space where the frequency holders of the world can recognize each other's signal, a place where we are reminded that our solitary broadcast is a collective act of service. And now, we must make a conscious choice. A choice to stop seeing our loneliness as a problem, and to start seeing our unique frequency as our sacred purpose. This is a vow to honor your own truth, above and beyond the need for external validation. Find your center. Feel the clear, clean, and unwavering signal of your own inner being. And from this place of high-fidelity truth, make this declaration. I now see and understand that my loneliness is a direct result of my own unique and sacred frequency. I see that my inability to fit in is not a failure, but the very proof of my function. I release the need to be understood by those who are tuned to a different station. I release the pain of wishing they could hear my music, and I accept that their journey is not my own. I release the temptation to degrade my own signal in order to be heard. Now, let this vow become your new prime directive as a conscious being. From this day forward, I make a vow to be a frequency holder. My primary work is not to change the world, but to hold, with unwavering integrity, the frequency of my own awakened consciousness. I will practice tuning into my own signal daily, through silence, through joy, through connection with my own heart, so that I become intimately familiar with the sound of my own truth. In my interactions with the world, my goal is no longer to match the frequency of others, but to lovingly translate my own. I will be a calm FM broadcast in a world of AM static, offering a different possibility, without apology and without aggression. Take a deep, conscious breath, and feel the profound shift from a personal problem to a cosmic purpose. You are not a lonely person. You are a divine radio tower. You are a lighthouse. You are a frequency holder. The loneliness you have been carrying as a burden is, in fact, your badge of honor. It is the undeniable sign that you are faithfully and beautifully fulfilling your mission. Part 7. The Function of Difference. Now we must deepen our understanding of this role. It is not enough to simply accept your different frequency, you must understand its vital function. The purpose of a lighthouse is not to be like the ships. If the lighthouse were to float on the water, rising and falling with the tides, being pushed by the same currents that toss the ships about, it would be utterly useless as a guide. The power of the lighthouse, its entire reason for being, is its difference. It is powerful because it is stationary. While the world of the ships is in constant, chaotic motion, the lighthouse is a fixed point of reference. It is an anchor of stability. Its immobility is what allows the moving ships to find their own bearing. Your own inner stillness, your refusal to be swept away by the dramas and the panics of the collective, is your immobility. It is the steady, fixed point of consciousness that allows others, consciously or unconsciously, to find a moment of sanity in their own storm. The lighthouse is powerful because it is separate. It stands apart from the fleet. It does not join the parties on the cruise ships or the frantic work on the fishing vessels. Its solitude is what allows its light to be seen clearly, from a great distance, without being obscured by the lights of other boats. Your own sense of separateness, your loneliness, is what keeps your signal pure. It is what prevents your consciousness from being diluted by the consensus reality of the herd. Your solitude is what makes your wisdom a clear and trustworthy beacon. And the lighthouse is powerful because it is at a higher altitude. It is built on the high cliff, the rocky promontory. From this vantage point, it can see what the ships cannot see. It can see the hidden rocks beneath the surface, the approaching storm on the horizon. Your own, awakened, perspective, your ability to see the unconscious patterns and the deeper truths that others miss, is your altitude. It is what makes your guidance, when it is sought, so uniquely valuable. Your inability to fit in is not your weakness, it is your core qualification. Every quality about yourself that has made you feel lonely, your stationariness in a world of motion, your separateness in a world of crowds, your high-altitude perspective in a world focused on the ground, is, in fact, the very essence of your sacred function. You are not a broken ship. You are a perfectly designed lighthouse. Part 8. Rituals for the frequency holder to live as a conscious frequency holder requires a new set of practices. Your old practices may have been about trying to connect, to fit in, to ease your loneliness. Your new practices are about strengthening, clarifying, and honoring your own unique and solitary signal. The first ritual is the frequency anchor. This is your most important daily practice. It is not about connecting with others, it is about connecting with yourself. For 10 minutes each day, your only job is to become intimately familiar with the feeling tone of your own soul's frequency. Sit in silence and bring your full attention to the quiet, steady, peaceful presence within you. Feel its unique resonance, its sound. This is your home frequency. Marinate in it. Let it fill your entire being. The purpose of this is to make the feeling of your own truth so familiar, so solid, so known to you, that when you go out into the dissonant frequencies of the world, you can instantly recognize when you are being pulled off key. This practice builds your energetic core. It makes you a more stable and powerful tower, less susceptible to the static of the world. The second ritual is the art of translating, not matching. When you are in a social situation, your old, painful habit was to try and match the frequency of the people around you. To try and become an AM radio again. This is inauthentic, and it is utterly exhausting. Your new practice is to be a loving translator. You will remain firmly anchored in your own FM frequency, your own calm and spacious presence. And from that place, you will listen. You will listen to the worry, the drama, the AM static of the person in front of you. And your job is not to match their static. Your job is to translate a small piece of your clarity into a language they can understand. You do not give them a lecture on non-duality. You simply offer a single, clear, loving question or a moment of pure, non-judgmental presence. You are offering them a brief taste of your frequency, a moment of clarity, without ever abandoning your own. This allows you to connect and to serve, without depleting yourself and without betraying your own truth. The third ritual is the silent communion. This is the cure for your personal loneliness. Your loneliness comes from feeling that you are the only lighthouse on the entire ocean. This ritual connects you to the silent network of all the other lighthouses. Sit in your quiet space. Feel your own light, your own signal, shining steadily from your heart. And now, in your mind's eye, I want you to scan the vast, dark horizon of the entire planet. And as you look, begin to notice other, distant flickers of light. A light from a mountaintop in the Himalayas. A light from a quiet apartment in a bustling city. A light from a cabin in a deep forest. These are the other frequency holders. The other lighthouses. You may never meet them. You may never know their names. But they are your true family. They are your soul group. And in this moment, you can feel their presence. You can send them a silent pulse of your own light, a signal of camaraderie and support. And you can feel their steady, collective light shining back at you. This practice dissolves the illusion of your personal isolation. You are not a lonely light. You are a single, vital node in a vast and beautiful network of consciousness that is holding the entire planet in a web of grace. You are alone at your post, but you are not alone in your mission. Part 9. The Frequency Keeper. As you begin to embody this role, to practice these rituals, you start to understand your function on an even deeper, more cosmic level. You are not just a passive guide, a lighthouse that the ships may or may not see. You are an active participant in the energetic stabilization of the planet. You are a frequency keeper. The collective consciousness of humanity is a vast and often chaotic energetic field. It is a symphony of billions of different frequencies. For much of human history, this symphony has been dominated by the lower, dissonant frequencies of fear, of scarcity, of separation, of conflict. An awakened consciousness, your consciousness, is like a tuning fork that has been struck with a clear, high, and coherent note. The note of peace, of unity, of love. Now, the laws of physics and resonance tell us that a coherent, stable frequency has the power to entrain, or to bring into harmony, the incoherent, chaotic frequencies around it. A single, clear tuning fork, vibrating in a room of jangling, out-of-tune instruments, will slowly, but surely, begin to cause the other instruments to resonate with its own clear note. This is your active service. Your very being, your commitment to holding your own clear and stable frequency in the midst of the world's chaos, is a profound act of planetary healing. You do not have to do anything. You do not have to preach, or to teach, or to heal, in the traditional sense. Your simple, silent, and steady presence, holding the frequency of peace in your own nervous system, is like a silent hum that is broadcast out into the collective. It is a stabilizing force. It is an anchor for a higher possibility. You are a walking, breathing tuning fork for the new earth. The more you practice your frequency anchor ritual, the more you tend to your own inner state, the more powerful and pure your signal becomes. And the more powerful your signal, the more you contribute to the overall raising of the collective vibration. Your presence makes it easier for others to awaken. Your peace subcommunicates safety to the anxious nervous systems around you. Your clarity helps to untangle the collective confusion. Your solitary, inner work is a selfless act of collective service. Part 10. The Noble Ache. And so we come to the final, great, and beautiful reframe of your pain. For so long, you have experienced your loneliness as a wound to be healed, a problem to be solved, a sign that you are isolated, separate, and misunderstood. You have seen it as the painful price you have to pay for your own awakening. And here is the final epiphany, the one that transforms this entire experience from a burden into an honor. Your loneliness is your service. Your difference is your gift. The feeling of being a clear, FM signal in a world of AM static is not an obstacle to your mission. That feeling is your mission. The act of holding that different frequency, of being the one clear note in the midst of the dissonance, is your sacred function. The ache of your difference is the proof that you are doing your job. When you feel that familiar pang of not quite fitting in, of seeing the world from a different altitude, you can now meet it not with a story of, I am so alone, but with a new story, I am holding my frequency. The signal is strong. The lighthouse is operational. This is the great shift. You stop trying to cure your loneliness, and you start to see it as a noble ache. The ache of the weightlifter's muscle as it grows stronger. The ache of the mother's body as it makes space for a new life. It is not the pain of sickness. It is the pain of growth, of purpose, of a love so vast it is willing to stand apart for the sake of the whole. You are not a lonely person who happens to be awakened. You are an awakened being whose current assignment is to hold a solitary post. And in that, there is no lack. There is only honor, purpose, and a quiet, profound, and unshakable sense of a job well done. Your loneliness is not a wound, it is your post of honor. If this journey has helped you to see the profound and noble purpose in your own beautiful solitude, then help us to light up the network. Subscribe to The Hidden Voice. Like and share this message. Every interaction you make sends a signal of recognition and support to another lighthouse, standing at their post in the dark, reminding them that they are not alone in their mission. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your courage to be different. Now go and hold your frequency. The world is navigating by your light.